Hello, and welcome to how to enter a sales quote in Prelude. So first we're going to do our slash command, and then we're going to do QOE for quote order entry. Let me hit enter. Again, pick your company number. Right now we're using 001, 002, or 005. We're going to do 001. And some folks, I didn't even think about this, may not have that option. They may just be 001 or 002, whatever company you work for. That could be your only option. So you may or may not have that screen. So location, typically the facility that you work out of. So we're going to do 004. Department number 00. And this is going to do a new quote number. And customer, we need to find our customer. We're going to do test premiere. And here that is. Enter. This is our only ship to. If that was not the correct ship to, or if it brought up a blank, you can hit N and then F3. And if I had a list of ship tos, the F3 code up here would have brought up this order ship to selection, and then you could put in the zip code or maybe 422 in your address line, and then it would show you your options to what to choose from, just like this. Then we're going to click F2 to save. Contact person, very important, first name and last name of who you're doing this quote to. Don't be afraid to ask the people how to spell it. We want to make sure that stuff looks right. Customers like that. They don't like misspellings. People notice. So, and then it's always in caps, of course. PO, this is only a quote, so we probably don't have a PO yet. You may, but probably not. Typically, I'll just put in here what it's going to be. Say MSA fall protection, and you could do MSA FP and gas monitor, something like that. That way, when you go to search in your quotes, the customer PO shows up, and you'll know what quote you're looking for, instead of leaving that blank and say 20 quotes are in there and they're all blank. You really wouldn't know where to start searching. But if you have a small code in there that says, hey, this is what I'm quoting on, it makes it easier to look up. UPS ground, and this stuff automatically populated the instructions. If you look in here, it's got that account number that we had set up previously. Right now, of course, payment terms are still PB, and that would not be changed until accounting changed it. Email address, very important. You want to get the correct email address. So we'll just put in here test@premiersafety.com. Phone number. Sales rep 1 and 2, you can't change. Cell warehouse, you can change those, but typically you wouldn't need to. Over here on the right, you've got the entry date, which is today, the quote date, which is today, and when you want the quote to expire, and when you want the follow-up to be brought up to your actions. So you can push this out a little bit, or you can make it, in a couple days, so that the computer reminds you, hey, this has to be followed up on. There's nothing else really in the screen. There's nothing here you can want to change in the F5 add info at this time. We'll just do that, and my first part number is going to be test 1, and that'll bring up your quote entry detail. Here you can go in and change, say you wanted to only do a 20% GP. That'll change your net price. You don't want to change the gross price, an example this way. say you're like, oh, I want to sell it to them for $300. Don't change that, because then you don't know what your original selling price was. If you change anything and you just have a predetermined figure in your mind, just type in 300. Leave again the gross price alone. Only change your net. The other way you could do it, if you wanted to give them say 5% discount, you could put in 5% here. So either change it here at the GP, give them a discount, and then let it change the net price. Again, please do not change the gross price. Add info, nothing really here. Substitutes, inventory inquiry. Inventory inquiry just brings up and lets you know what's on hand, possibly at other locations if you wanted to know. That is really about it on that screen. And then we'll go in and we'll make another. Same thing here. Say this time I'm going to do a 16% gross profit. Again, just let it roll up the net price. And if you wanted to not have it so long, you could make it 892.86 instead of having all those other characters. But that's again up to your discretion. Again, please don't change the gross price. Click F2 to save. Down here in the bottom, it shows you so far what your GP percent is for the total order and what your profit is. That is really it. If you need to go back to your header screen, you can just by clicking the F5 header. Totals, that's just going to show you again what this information is down here at the bottom. You can go to log, and the log will just pull up things that you have done. Right now it shows that I've entered a quote, and there's really no other information in here yet. Let's see, order pad. Order pad allows you to go into that customer. If they've ordered from us previously, you can go over here to sales or product sort. Make this a P. It makes the sorting a lot easier. Click enter, and it'll bring up a list of the products that's been sold to the customer. Maybe you're not sure which calibration gas or what gas monitor they bought from us previously. That's a good way to figure out what that company's purchased from us in the past. Again, is the order pad button down here. Once you're done, click F2 to save. Click complete, and then F2 complete. Do you wish to export to Word? You can turn this into a Word document by clicking yes and going through those procedures. But for today and simplicity, I'm only going to click no. And I'm going to email this. You want to email it to yourself. One, so you can look it over and make sure it's presentable. And make sure everything looks correct. Let's see. Click F2 to save. Now, hopefully here in a second, my email will pop up with that quote. And it did. And this is really what the customer would see if you emailed it to them directly. Very basic, really not much to it as far as letting the customer know, what it really is. And some customers may be hesitant on opening it, seeing something like that. So we can double click on our PDF, and this shows what it looks like when the customer would get it. Shows the bill to, the ship to, the quote date, expiration date. Again, the reference number was what we put under the PO number. Payment terms is there. Ship via, who the sales rep is, who the contact is. That was that test. You can tell that I prepared the quote and what the freight terms are. Collect. Down here at the bottom, it shows that UPS collect account number, merchandise total, tax. If you put in any freight and handling, it would show up there, and the quote total. And I've had customers actually sign and date it down here and return it and say, okay, this is what we want to do. Here it shows your part number and description, quantity, price, and extension. If you had a quantity of 2 here, it would then show, whatever the extended price is for 75 times 2, or whatever your quantity is over here. So after that's done, you can either take and forward the message and make it, whatever your little blurb is that you wanted to say. I have some ones already made up. This one's called sales quote. I just click on it, put in who I want it to go to, what the quote number is, and 040276 MSA FP and gas monitor. Put in the person's name, test. I would bring the PDF, drag it over here, put in their email address, and send it off. Why I do this, I definitely put the quote number in here, because if I have to go back into my sent files and search for whatever reason, I can just search for this quote number, and anytime I do any type of revisions or I'm communicating with the customer, I go in, that quote number is always in there, and it'll bring up every sent message we've done, and it makes it just easier to find your communication with the customer. If I change the quote and resend it back, I'll put in revisions, 1, 2. I think the most revisions I've had is like 4. So there was a Rev 4. But the customer kept changing their mind. So that's, again, this is personal preference. This is what I do. I like to have my emails set and ready to go. Makes it easy for the customer to see what things they're looking for, how to get me a PO or credit card, whatever, back, and what details I need to have. So there was that. No. If you need to search for that quote, this is a good opportunity. QO/QOI, quote order inquiry. There's our customer number, or you can do test, Premier, click enter. And here you can see the customer PO popped up, MSA FP. Just imagine having 10, 15 quotes down here and them all blank. Again, it's just nice to have, even for if somebody else gets a call while you're out on vacation or sick, whatever. If another CSR or ISR gets a call, it's easy for them to find it and follow up with the customer quickly, so that we're not wasting their time or our time. So from here, quote number, you can click on, if you do F6, if you do F5, sorry, it'll bring up and let you review. It won't let you change anything. If you do F7 QOE, it'll actually pull in that quote, and then you can make your changes as needed. And then, say for this example, we'll change that to 2. You'll see your extension's now changed to 950. We'll click F2 to save, and your quote dollars changed. And then the quote that you email again to yourself and then off to the customer will reflect that extension price. We'll just come down here. You click complete. If you wanted to add freight, you could add the freight here, F2, and then that would show up again on the quote down at the bottom. I'll do that. on that. Scroll, and here you can see that extended price changed. And down here you can see the freight and handling was added right in there. So that is really all I've got. And then again, just taking forward that, you can take and drag and drop that email into that other one if I still had it open. But that is all I've got. If a quote, if a quote has died and the customer's like, oh, we no longer need it for the project, or your price was too high, and you go F4 delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. Opportunity, update lost quotations, yes. We're going to click F3 here, and then enter. Price too high. Here are the different options. Usually there is a reason why we didn't get the job, so just choose the correct one. Do you want to update lost sales? No, we don't need to do that. And then there's a disposition code number that pops up in your quote log, and here it is, that 03, and that's the one we just chose for the customer lost the funding. So that is all I've got. If you have any questions, please get in touch with your branch manager or another person that's really familiar with Prelude, and we can help answer your questions. Thanks.